Today on Animal Outtakes,
We talk about the senior care. When is a dog a senior?
Well, it varies from breed to breed.
caring for our aging pet, how you can be proactive in their health care.
They're your best friend, and you do for them what you wouldn't do for anybody else.
Plus, we'll learn about some new ways to honor our four-legged friends after they are gone. Hello and thanks for joining us this week on Animal Outtakes.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us into your living room. A lot of people don't let bugs in their living room. Marcia, I was trying to go over this week's script and I can't find my reading glasses. Remind me to shut the window so birds don't fly in.
I don't know, Lou. Did you look everywhere?
Yes, I looked everywhere. I know what the problem is. You're always moving things and putting things away and I can never find anything. I'll look in the living room. How long is his contract anyway? They were under the couch.
Getting a little forgetful, huh, Lou?
I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old.
Well, that's interesting because that's what this week's show is all about. Just like people, our pets grow older and sometimes need special care to keep them healthy.
Lou needs special mental care to keep him safe. I wonder what I'll look like when I'm old. Probably all distinguished and handsome. Look at that. Just like George Bernard Shaw. Are you with the Hatfields or McCoys?
Okay, enough, boys. This is serious because sadly, there comes a time when we must say goodbye to our furry friends.
Oh, geez. Okay, if you're gonna make me sad, then I want ice cream. I think we should all have ice cream.
Every emotion that you have does not result in ice cream.
Yeah, why not?
Don't be sad, Lou, because today we'll see what can be done to help our pets live a long, healthy life and how you can honor them when they must leave us.
And I hope you honor me after I leave to go get some ice cream.
We have a lot to cover, so let's get started. This is Sawyer. He's at Fruitville Veterinarian Clinic in Sarasota today for a special visit with veterinarian Dr. Stephen Pepper.
So how's Sawyer doing today?
He's doing fine. He's
Okay.
doing fine.
Been okay since he got his vaccines?
Yeah.
Okay.
He, I just heard about the senior care visit and thought it might be a good idea. He's just turned 10.
Dr. Pepper, why is a senior exam so important for these dogs?
Well, I have clients that often ask me, we see them usually once a year for vaccines, and clients ask me, what else can I do for my dog's health? And certainly I think a physical exam is very important, and vaccinations and your routine health care. But if you want to be more proactive, then things like we're doing today, x-rays, blood work, urinalysis, will give you a good baseline or alert you to something that's going on internally. We may not find anything, which is great. I mean, in other words, everything's normal. But for monitoring him as he gets older, we can follow trends in changes in his blood work that may be really helpful in heading off disease or slowing down a disease process. And
So at the very least, we get a baseline today.
that's exactly right.
Some changes in Sawyer's behavior prompted his owner, Steve, to schedule the visit.
I've noticed that he's yelped a couple of times when he's in the process of lying down.
Oh, okay.
So I'm beginning to think he might be getting some arthritic issues.
That could be.
He's also got a lipoma that sort of came up since our last visit in August.
Okay.
Right over here.
All right.
And I don't know if you might want to.
we may aspirate that and just take a look at the cells.
We talk about the senior care. When is a dog a senior?
Well, it varies from breed to breed because your large or giant breeds don't have the longevity, say, of a medium or a smaller breed. So we may look at a Great Dane or an Irish Wolfhound at 5 or 6 and say, we're getting into senior years. Average for the population of dogs that we see in our clinic is probably about 7, 8 years of age when we recommend starting, senior health. It is an arbitrary number. Other places might do it earlier, or later, but that's kind of where we've settled as far as what we feel, is the time to start routinely doing this blood work. We're going to take a blood sample from his neck The reason we do it from the neck vein a lot of times is it's a bigger vein and you can get a better blood sample.
What a good dog.
You can see he didn't, flinch. It's painless.
Dr. Pepper notes our pets are living longer, a fact he attributes to advances in overall care for our dogs and cats.
We have better foods than we did years ago. We have great vaccinations that protect them. And our health care is advanced. We are much more better at treating cancer in pets. It's not, a death sentence. And arthritis, artificial hips, are put in a lot. So we have just more technology that improves the quality of life of our patients.
After the blood work, Dr. Pepper's team gives Sawyer a sedative so that they can take some x-rays of his chest and abdomen.
Good
boy.
Very nice.
They'll just relax him and then we can get him on a table and extend his legs out for the pelvis. And then we just give them a shot and they wake up within 10 minutes.
Very nice.
And still ahead on Animal Outtakes.
So his head would be up here, spine, sternum. Structure is his heart right there.
We get the results from Sawyer's senior vet visit. Plus, we go under the sea with avid fisherman Bob and his nautical companion. Well, it's that time again. Time for the second annual Top Dog competition at the Sarasota Municipal Auditorium on Saturday, October 18th. Hosted by Bob Harrigan. For more information, go to dantesden.org/topdog.
Critical Vet Care is guided by the belief that companion animals deserve state-of-the-art medical care and a kind and comforting environment. The courage of our patients, the loyalty of their human families, and the devotion of our referral veterinarians inspire our vision. It is sustained by the contributions of our compassionate, knowledgeable, and dedicated staff, and built upon a strong tradition of providing excellent health care for animals. To learn more, visit us online at www.criticalvetcare.com.
For thousands of years, we've been humans' best friend. You've been through a lot, and we've been right there with you. A dog is part of the family, a confidant, and a friend who always knows how to get into your heart. So what happens to our beloved companions when we can no longer care for them? This is why we've created Dante's Den, an innovative, state-of-the-art facility that will provide care for up to 100 dogs.
Dante's Den is a community for joyful dogs.
Millions of Americans face uncertainty when planning for the future of beloved pets who may well outlive them. Dante's Den is a charitable organization, so in whatever capacity you can, please lend your support so that we may continue this most wonderful work.
Dante and I would like to thank you for watching and for also opening up your hearts to our wonderful community of joyful dogs.
Learn about the many ways you could become involved by visiting dantesden.org.
Sawyer, a 10-year-old yellow lab, is ready to go home after spending the day at his veterinarian's office in Sarasota. Dr. Stephen Pepper and his team took blood samples and x-rays to get a better understanding of how the dog is aging. It's now time to get those results.
Structure is his heart right there, which looks normal size. Windpipe. And then the area around here is the lungs, which all look good. Lungs look good.
Excellent.
And we got one more. Got to go back. There, it's pelvis. And for a dog his size and age, his pelvis, I think, looks pretty darn good.
The x-rays found no potential hip dysplasia. But what about that mass on Sawyer's side?
We did an aspirate on that lump on his side.
Oh, yeah, the one on his right.
We need to send that in. There's some unusual cells in there.
Okay.
So I'm going to send that in. That'll take about 3 days to get the results.
Biopsy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a needle aspirate, but there's a whole population of unusual cells, which may necessitate that we get that off of there.
All right.
With the promise to follow up with the results of the blood work and testing of the mass, Dr. Pepper sends Sawyer and Steve on their way. Well, as a parent, what did you think of his outcome?
Well, we're a little concerned about the what I thought was a lipoma down here, but other than that, Dr. Pepper gave him an A grade.
Yes, and he was a great patient because we were watching him all day.
Well, I like the way Dr. Pepper showed me the x-rays and pointed out what might be a problem, what wasn't a problem, what could have been a problem, and it gives me a great feeling of confidence to know that he's doing well, and a great baseline for the future. If anything happens, we can bring him back in and we'll know where he was and be able to tell where he has gone.
I can examine a dog all day, but I can't tell you what his blood sugar is. Can't tell you what his kidney function is. Can't tell you if his heart is actually enlarged or if there's a mass in the heart or lungs. So these are additional tools that we have to help, prevent or at least diagnose disease, and maybe we can make an impact on longevity.
A few days after Sawyer's visit, Dr. Pepper got the results of the test on the mass on Sawyer's side. It was cancerous, and he recommended that it be removed. Sawyer underwent surgery a few weeks later and was back to his happy, healthy self soon after. There comes a time in our pets' lives when we must say goodbye, but there are new ways to honor their memory. Tanya Scostesi is a licensed funeral director with Farley Funeral Homes in Venice.
We were asked by the community if we took care of pets at their time of loss. And the answer for so many years was no, we just take care of humans. But we really explored and took the community's questions to heart and started researching what it is that we can offer our community that wants something above and beyond burying their beloved pet in their backyard.
In 2013, they opened a pet cemetery at the Venice Memorial Gardens. Most of us have dogs and cats, but you take care of all animals, don't you?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have every feature from exotic animals all the way up to probably our actual crematory actually can accommodate up to 300 pounds.
If someone chooses to have their pet cremated, it is done in a separate facility, correct?
Correct, yes. And we'll make that very clear that it is two separate facilities. We have for the humans, at Farley Crematory, Farley Funeral Home on the island of Venice is where the humans are transported to and the cremation takes place there. For our pets, we have a brand new facility here at the Gardens. It's 1 year old, and all the cremations for the pets are done here.
If somebody wants to have the full body burial where you would put into a casket, you do have caskets here for them?
Yes, we have caskets, all different styles, colors, materials. Some are more gender specific, the pink and the blue, but we also have very neutral champagne colors. Whatever a family wants to help them through that grieving process is what we're here for. In addition to, just like a casket can be buried at the pet cemetery, cremated remains can also be placed here.
One of the things I've always wondered, if you have your remains buried in a portion of the cemetery, when it's time for us to go, the humans, can we be buried with our pet? Can we be reunited?
Yes, yes, you can actually be reunited. Because the pet section is specifically designated for pets, meaning that pet cremated remains or full body pet, meaning of not cremated, can be buried in the pet section, and their pet owner can be buried adjacent. So you can actually have a full bodied, let's say dog or cat, and then the full body pet owner adjacent to. The pet owner would be in the human section and the pet would be in the pet section.
If you prefer to have your pet cremated, those remains can be placed anywhere within the park or even in a private mausoleum. At the end of the day, when we do extend this wonderful respect and love that you accord our true companions, who's truly being helped?
The family, the surviving, the living. Even for when a loss of a human, it's the family that's left behind is left to mourn and left to grieve and left to celebrate that person's life or that pet's life. And of course we love our people in life and we love them in death, and as you know, our pets become very special to us, very close to heart, and we want to be there in life for them and we want to be there in death. And whatever we can do to help us grieve, because it is very emotional with the loss of a pet, everyone here is a pet lover, and we understand the challenges and the difficulties that one can face. And our goal is to make sure that that family that we're serving understands every option available and to provide them comfort.
Venice Memorial Gardens is a perpetual cemetery, meaning it will always be a cemetery. If you would like more information about the pet cemetery at Venice Memorial Gardens and the services provided by Farley Funeral Homes, go online to venicememorialgardens.com. We'll be right back.
Well, it's that time again. Time for the second annual Top Dog competition.
Yay! What is that?
Top Dog is the area's premier dog lovers event, featuring categories like Best Dress,
I can do that.
Best Hair,
Maybe not my thing.
and Best Kisser
Don't even think about it.
at the Sarasota Municipal Auditorium on Saturday, October 18th. Hosted by Bob Harrigan.
From ABC7.
All proceeds benefit Dante's Den. For more information, go to dantesden.org/topdog.
And now, here's Bud and Lou.
What a beautiful day. Yeah, it really makes you wonder about life, huh?
What I wonder is why I dragged a full-size beach chair out here for a bug that just hovers above it.
Oh, sorry. Better?
I'm starving. Let's go get something to eat.
You're gonna catch a fish?
That's right.
But you ain't got no pole.
I happen to be a highly trained ibis bird. And this is how I catch a fish.
Holy cow, you got one. Well, that was disgusting, but wow, you did that real good. Hey, Lou, do you think we'll always be friends even when we're old and gray?
Of course, buddy boy. We'll still be doing the same things we always do.
Hey, Lou, doesn't a beautiful day like this really make you think about life?
Didn't you just ask that question like 30 years ago? Starting to repeat himself.
Hey, Lou.
What? Who's dead?
No, nobody. Aren't you hungry?
No, I'm not. I can't eat after 3 p.m. or I get a case of the under thunder.
Oh, gross. But don't you want a nice fish?
Well, I guess I could go for a bite.
No, you don't use no fishing pole.
Sure I do. Now look, hold on to my back. In case I get a big one, I don't get pulled into the water. Ooh, I got one. Hold on.
Then I'll just put these here then. I'm telling you, you used to grab 'em with your teeth, unless you can't do it anymore.
If that's the way I used to do it, then I can sloop.
What was that?
Oh boy, that was my teeth. Do you see them down there?
No, sorry. Why don't we check the lost and found?
They gotta be in the lost and found.
Well, I don't see 'em.
We'll get under there and look.
Okay, are these them?
No, those aren't my teeth.
There must be a lot of old birds on this beach today. enjoying your soup and jello? Hey, Lou, missing something? And now it's time for the furry and famous Animal Outtakes VI Pets.
Well, I'll tell you, a fish, very relaxing. You know, you're just looking at the fish kind of floating around. I enjoy watching them swim around and have a great time. We used to have dogs and cats, but unfortunately, my daughter Emma is allergic. They live for probably about 12 years and then they go bye-bye. I miss the fish when they go. This one here, this one had a partner at one point. They used to be the same, and they used to swim around, and unfortunately, they're getting old as well. But they're still, you know, they still hang in there, have a good time. The goldfish, obviously, this is the biggest goldfish I've seen. Susan, my wife, likes to feed the fish, and they get fed. They used to get fed twice a day, but we talked to the pet store, and they said that you shouldn't feed the goldfish twice a day. In fact, they'll eat continuously if you keep feeding them. And so they said to feed them once a day and then stir up the rocks, and that's my job. I got longer arms, so I stir up the rocks in the evening hours or whatever so that they pick up the scraps and keep the tank clean. Fish are interesting in that if you watch them, you'll see them set up, you'll see them get excited about food, and you can talk to them sometimes, and they'll come over and you can wave to them and so on and so forth. You don't get the interaction that you do with a dog or a cat for that matter, but if you're restricted to maybe allergies, such as, you know, maybe your children have allergies or so on and so forth, it's an excellent pet to have, or pets, because you know they do offer relaxation by watching them and kind of seeing them swim around and float around and enjoy themselves and not getting hooked by anglers who are just out there enjoying themselves.
A little further down the road, we find another cemetery that offers services for our four-legged friends.
This D is such an idyllic, serene place. Where exactly are we?
We're at Panda Meadows in Gulf Pines Cemetery. It is a section devoted to people and their best friends after they die. If you want to be buried with your pet, whether it be a goldfish, a goat, whatever, you're more than welcome to come here.
Dee Roberts heads up Pet Passings and is quick to say how these animals touch her heart.
I'm not ashamed to say I'll cry faster when we pick up a dog than if we pick up a person.
Because you're a dog person.
Because I'm a dog person.
Yes.
Dee is also a licensed pet grief counselor, lending a sympathetic ear to people who have lost their best friends.
I'm an animal lover, always have been, and people who have never owned an animal don't realize what it's like to lose one. It's no different than losing a member of your family. And in this population down here, sometimes that's the only family that someone who has been left to live alone has.
One-on-one counseling is available, but Dee says some people find more solace with a support group.
And we meet together, and nobody has to be afraid to cry. Sometimes people haven't had a pet die for the past 10, 12 years, come to the meetings, and they still cry because you never get over that.
They take a little piece of your heart with them, don't they?
Yes, they do. And there's and we also talk about getting another pet. Some people feel like they're betraying that dog or cat if they buy a new one, or they adopt a new one or whatever. But we tell them no, that there's still a little space in there to help the other one, and they'll give them a home like the one that you just had.
How do you counsel them when they say, should I get a dog now? I'm speaking mostly of dogs because that's what we normally handle.
Right.
Should I get them right away or should I wait?
I say to them, what do you want to do?
There is no correct time.
There's no correct. They'll say, what do you do? I say, go out the next day. You know, I get another one. You do what makes you feel good. There's no etiquette in when you get another pet. What I do is I try to help people at their worst time. And I've lost a husband, I've lost parents, and that was a terrible time. But then you lose your dog and you're expected to just kind of poo-poo it. And I help people to realize you need to grieve because, you know, your tears are just memories in motion. You grieve for how much you love that dog. And if you love that dog, and you need to grieve. And there's nothing wrong with you if 6 months later you're still crying when you see a dog, There's nothing wrong with you. It's a tribute. They're your best friend, and you do for them what you wouldn't do for anybody else.
Pet Passings and their pet loss professionals can help you plan the perfect memorial for your furry friend. If you would like to learn more about their services or about Companion Meadows at the Gulf Pine Cemetery in Venice, Florida, visit kayspongard.com.
And we'll be right back. Well, that's it for this episode of Animal Outtakes.
Okay, even though there were some sad parts, it makes me feel good to know that I'm the pet of someone who will make it a little easier for me whenever it's my time to, shall we say, fly the coop.
I'm glad you understand, Lou. Yes, losing a pet can be devastating, but it's part of being a pet owner. These animals are our companions and they know us intimately. It's important that we do our part to make their lives as long and as happy as possible.
Now you're talking. A long, happy life is exactly what I want.
And when it is time for them to go, we should make sure that they're comfortable and at peace. Say, where's Bud anyway?
Oh, I sent him on a little errand. Here you go, everybody. Ice cream.
Lou!
I figure we might as well start with the comfortable and at peace part right now. Why wait till the last minute?
We look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye. Okay. The angels aren't happy today.